In this video, we will use Flask, which is a Python framework used for developing web applications. You've seen a lot of web applications, whether it's Facebook or YouTube or anything else that you access through a web browser. Let's try to understand how this basically works. First, we have a client, which is a web browser that you use. Could be Chrome, Mozilla, Safari, anything. Then we enter a URL on the address bar. Let's say www.google.com, and the browser will generate a request. This request will be reaching the Google application service. It's not going to reach the application service directly because it has to go through a lot of other stuff like DNS, web servers, load balancers. But this is just the first video, so let's just ignore all of that. So the request will eventually reach the Google application servers. And then the application server generates a response page that is to be displayed on the browser. So this response will be an HTML code along with its CSS and JavaScript code. You can look at all of this response HTML code on the browser itself. Don't worry if you do not understand HTML, CSS, or JavaScript. These are all client-side code that the browser understands, which means these things run inside the client machine. So the application server is basically telling you what HTML code is to be executed in the browser. Now you might be thinking, what does this all mean? Let's think with another example. Say you have a social networking site, and this is a simple hypothetical social network, and it has one page, and it will just have your name displayed after you log in. When I log in with my username and password, I get a page saying name, friendly neighborhood coder, and the HTML code looks like this. Now imagine if Mike Tyson logs into the same page with his username and password. He should see name Mike Tyson, and the HTML code for that should look like this. So this is a dynamically generated page. Based on the username and password entered, the application server is generating a different HTML code that gets sent back to the browser. So that's all the theory, but let's see these things in action. I've created a sample web application of a voting system in Flask Python framework. First, I'm going to show you how the project looks like. I'm running the project in my local server. Here I can see the URL. If I open it, I can see the application. It's a very simple one. I know it has a bad UI, but the point is that this is a web application created using Python. So it says, who is your favorite superhero? And it has all of these options. If I select one and click on vote, I get a different screen saying you've successfully voted for Flash. So if I select somebody else, it'll say their name. Let me go back and select Dr. Strange, and it says Dr. Strange. If you noticed, this application has the main page where we can see the question and the options, and the second page /result where we see who we voted for. And these are dynamically generated pages, which means some of the values in these pages are determined by the application server and then sent back to the browser. Click on the next video right here to see how I implemented this code.